So we started to talk about the Rubin Museum of Art and its 20-year anniversary, and we were discussing some of the masterworks. So in keeping with that, the Rubin Museum has over 70 mandala paintings. Out of the 70, 15 were previously selected as being masterworks of the collection. But we've done a curator's selection now, and we've reduced the number to 8, which we think really stand above the others. Now, the 8, some of them are early. Only one of them is really later, possibly 17th, 18th century. But the other 7 are early, and by early I mean we're really looking at 14th century through the 16th century. Now, the first one that we have is actually a symbol mandala. There's many different kinds of mandalas. Usually they're figurative, is what people are used to. But there can be symbol mandalas, there can be letter mandalas, there can be figure mandalas. There's different types and different sizes, and they all can have different uses, whether or not they're functioning as an initiation card, whether or not they're functioning on the ceiling of a temple as a blessing, or whether they're being used as a mural on the wall, or a flat mandala used for initiation purposes, and it would be surrounded by offerings of different types. So the first is a symbol mandala of Yamadharmaraja. Just really beautifully done, really well executed, and it really gives a best example of how symbols are used to represent the figures, the deities of the mandala and mandala palace. The second is a Hevajra. The Hevajra is actually well published. It was published Sotheby's Publications back in the early, I believe the early 80s by Ravi Kumar. And that is, most likely it's coming out of the Ngor tradition. So that would be late 15th century. Then next we have one that's actually, I believe, dated to the early 17th century, and it's a Dharmadhatu Vagishvara mandala. Now this is just an absolutely wonderful piece because it presents as secondary figures outside of the central mandala about 20 different forms, more than 20 forms, iconographic forms of the deity Manjushri, as he is found in tantric texts. Then after that, we have a Chakra Samvara, I believe coming from the Maitripa tradition, and it again is coming out of Ngor Monastery, and it's a product. It was actually commissioned by, I believe, Lachok Sengye. After that, we have what can be described as more of a Gyantse period, just post-Gyantse, more circa 1500, but representing the Dzongpa tradition of Hevajra. That's followed by a Vajrabhairava, and then a Humkara, and then a four mandalas in a single composition coming out of the Vajravali text, which was very popular in the 14th, 15th, 16th century. So what's really interesting about these mandalas is almost all of them, it's possibly all of them, but I would think 7 of them are actually Sakya productions, or Sakya Ngor, Sakya subschools. The Yamadharmarajas possibly could be Gelugpa, but otherwise, the majority of the mandalas are Sakya. Sakya was known early on as being for producing a tremendous number of mandalas from the 14th century through the 17th century, and so that's why a lot of these early mandalas and the masterworks are Sakya productions. So these are the 8 that are the curator's selection for the best mandalas of the Rubin Museum of Art in New York City. So we'll leave it there. You can press the like button, you can subscribe, you can join HAR on Patreon, and you can make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.